Welcome into this edition of ACAP Today, a special Community Action Month edition of ACAP Today for the week of May 8th, 2023. I'm Jason Parent with Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to talk with some youth in the area about the new teen center on North Street, the North Street Teen Center, as a matter of fact, and how that operation is getting up and running and how it's by teens for teens. We're going to have that great conversation and talk about an upcoming open house that they're hosting to have the community come in and visit the facility later on this month. We're going to do that in just a minute and get to that conversation. But before we do that, we're first going to get to this week's news and information that you can use again for the week of May 8th, 2023. And we begin with this. As part of our continuing Community Action Month series, we are reminding our community members out there that we are hosting a diaper drive throughout the month of May, where we're encouraging individuals, families, businesses to donate diapers for families and households that are in need. Believe it or not, diapers, if you haven't purchased them in a while, can cost up to $140 per child each month. So imagine having more than one child in diapers in that period. So ACAP is holding this diaper drive to help. Here's how you can help. You can drop off diapers, any size diapers, at any Aroostook County Action Program location across Aroostook County. We'll make sure it gets where it needs to go. You can also make a monetary donation if that's not convenient of purchasing diapers and dropping them off. You can make a monetary donation at acap-me.org/get-involved/donate. You can do that right on our website. You can also drop off a monetary donation at any ACAP location as well. You can also host a diaper drive at your business or within your organization and do a collection there and let us know, and we'd be happy to come over and get those from you. Or if you want to drop them off, you can do that as well. If you have any questions or need more information, you can email us at info@acap-me.org or call 207-532-5371. Again, we're anxious to have the community join us in the celebration of Community Action Month by helping others, specifically young families with children who are in diapers. We have also been talking about this on the past few editions of ACAP Today, including recently with our guests. It is time for individuals to renew for their main care coverage, and we're encouraging folks to visit mymaincare.connection.gov or to renew by phone at calling the toll-free number there on your screen. Now, when it is your turn to renew, you will receive an envelope in the mail similar to one on the inset picture that has this blue box on the front of the envelope. Look for that blue box. Once you get it, the context is if it's blue, it's time to renew. Now, we do know that folks, as a result of the pandemic and the public health emergency coming to an end, that are being taken off of and will no longer be eligible for main care coverage. If that is in fact the case, there is a special enrollment period for you through coverme.gov as a result of the fact that you are losing that health insurance. Now, we here at ACAP have a couple of navigators who are trained to work with individuals to help navigate coverme.gov, to help find the most affordable healthcare coverage for your household or for you as an individual at that time. So if you are in need of health insurance because you are not covered anymore under main care, please do consider calling us here at the agency at 764-3721 so we can connect you with a navigator and help you navigate coverme.gov some affordable care coverage in the time frame as you're being taken off of the main care eligibility requirements. We are also reminding folks out there, you may have heard that the Home Energy Assistance Program has come to a premature end this season because that program has run out of money. We still do have a limited amount of funds in what's called the Winter Energy Relief Payment Program, which is the fund that the legislature set up through LD3 earlier this year. And that fund is for households that are up to 300% of the federal income poverty guidelines or federal poverty income guidelines, as you can see there on your screen. So the income qualifications are slightly more open than they are just for the HEAP program. This is the program that we're able to provide assistance with for folks who find themselves without fuel and a means to pay for fuel in the coming couple of months. So if you find yourself in that position, give us a call here at ACAP so we can talk about whether the Winter Energy Relief Payment Program is something that you might be eligible for. And we are also reminding folks that if you are finding yourself in an intense food insecurity position and you are in need of an immediate assistance and there's not a food pantry or other local resource available for you at that time, please do feel free to search out one of the community cupboards. They're across Aroostook County. This one's located outside of our 771 Main Street Presque Isle Customer Service Center near Walmart. There are also food resource guides available, printed versions in that community cupboard, as well as on our publications, news and publications page on the ACAP website. We encourage you to look up that information or ask questions of our team here at ACAP about how we can connect you with food resources if you are experiencing hunger and do not have the means to get food at this time. In addition to that, we are reminding our community that this does operate on a give what you can, take what you need principle. So if you are shopping at Walmart and want to pick up some additional non-perishable food items, or if you're cleaning out your cupboards and maybe not going to eat some non-perishable food item, please consider dropping it off at your local community cupboard, whether it's this one in Presque Isle or at some other location by some other organization or community-based group in your local community. We are also sharing with our friends that in our partnership with Pride Aroostook, we're very pleased to announce, and we've talked about this in a recent edition of ACAP today, that the prom for all high school age children will be held, children, I guess you're not children anymore, all teenagers in high school, will be held on Friday, May 19th at the University of Maine at Presque Isle. The event will run from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's for LGBTQ plus and allied high school youth age students from, get this, Aroostook, Washington, and Northern Penobscot County. So if you're viewing this online and you live in Washington or Northern Penobscot County, you are also invited to come to this event. It's a come as you are and dress as you like event. There will be an ID required. We want to make sure that we're having high school age students at this event. And it's a great opportunity to come together. Youth from different schools who might not otherwise get to be able to go to prom together because they're not in the same community. This is a great opportunity for you to connect with your peers across the 3-county area that I mentioned earlier. And if you are above that age, but still are in the partying mood, I would encourage you to join in the We Are Family Gala and Silent Auction the very next night on Saturday, May 20th. Doors open for that event at 5:30. That's also at the University of Maine at Presque Isle. Tickets for this event are $50 each, $75 for 2, or $100 for 3, or a table of 8 for $300. All funds raised support the Prom for All and other youth activities and young adult specific programming and activities. Great lineup of dinner there that evening, as well as music by the Pelletier and Lovejoy Jazz Ensemble through the dinner and socializing period, with dancing at 8 o'clock with Hands Up Entertainment and DJ Corey Tilley. Again, more information available on both this event and the previous one are on the Facebook, the Pride Aroostook presence on Facebook. So check that out as well. And lastly, if there are any needs that you or your household have at this time, and we haven't talked about them on this edition of ACAP today, please do reach out to us. We have a navigator who's able to help you connect with programs and services, whether they're within our program or outside of our agency. And we certainly encourage you to reach out as you need assistance in this regard. And that's this week's news and information you can use, again, for the week of May 8th, 2023. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we're so pleased to welcome 3 youth in our community who may look familiar to you from an episode that we did last summer, late last summer, about the G2O opportunity. These 3 youth and some of their peers here in Aroostook County spent last summer doing some pretty intensive and some pretty interesting work around determining what youth in Aroostook County need to feel better supported, better included in their communities, and just all around to feel better about themselves as youth in our community. One of the things that these 3 youth and their peers shared with our leadership team here at the agency is that there was a need for a teen center or a youth center in the community. And I'm so pleased that just after what seems like not that many months and yet a long winter here in Aroostook County, we are so pleased that that is coming to reality. So first of all, I want to say thank you to all 3 of you for helping to make this project a reality, and ask you, how excited are you? Let me start with you, Jamie. How excited are you about this teen center, this North Street Teen Center opening up? Now it's open now, but official opening at the end of the month.
I'm really excited because we worked on it all summer. We came up with the idea together. It was really good bonding with them, and just seeing this come to fruition is really exciting.
Gwen, how about you? How are you feeling to see this come to reality, to fruition?
I'm pretty excited. I'm glad that we're bringing something new into the community.
And Allie, when you, when you were involved in this project or the creation, the reason why we're doing this project and getting all of the data, collecting the data, doing the community surveying, talking to your fellow youth, did you think that this might actually happen someday? Or was this kind of like a pipe dream, a vision that you thought, oh gosh, that would be great if it would happen, but I don't really ever see it happening?
I had my doubts when we first started, but I'm really glad to see it up and running and have a good base going.
So I know it's not completely done yet, but it's looking fantastic. The furniture is not quite in place yet. And before I do some reveal with some photos here from the facility, tell me what it's taken, because the last time we connected with you, you had just completed the work that basically showed that there was an assessed need for a teen center here in Aroostook County. What's happened between that last conversation that we had late last summer and this month, this very month of May, Community Action Month, that's gotten this teen center? There's obviously been a lot of work that's happened because the teen center is a reality now. Jamie, let me start with you. Tell me about what the past several months have looked like.
So for me, it's been a mess of collages and posters, and just kind of a chaotic mess of just finding a place and getting it done and planning out our budget, getting what we need. And it's been really fun doing it, no matter how hard it is.
Now, Gwen, I know that, Jamie mentioned, and this is certainly true, it was not as easy as one would think finding a spot for a teen center. And I think you learned a lot in the process along the way about things that you might have not, and quite frankly, I wouldn't even think would be a stumbling block or an issue. Talk about that process of finding the right place.
Well, we learned that there's differences between I don't know what they're called, but there's different spaces and what they're called. And you need certain requirements for there's retail spots and then there's the other spots. And we have to find a place that holds a teen center and has all the needs ACAP or handicap accessible places and other stuff like that.
All those zoning things, I think that's what they refer to it as. You have to have a place that's zoned so that you can gather in that spot. So yeah, clearly learned a lot from that. And then Allie, really after that sort of process, which took a while, I know it took a while, then the fun, I think, at least from my perspective, it would have been my fun. The fun really, once you landed a spot, the fun really took off from there, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So talk about what you did from that point once you finally had nailed down the location on North Street in Presque Isle.
Once we found the location, we started coming up with plans on how we wanted it to look like what activities and things we wanted to be in the center, what we wanted to provide for the teens to do, what kind of furniture we wanted, just kind of building an idea of how we wanted the space to look and operate.
All right, so what were some of the decisions made? I don't know who wants to talk me through this. If you all participated and you all want to say a little bit, I'm happy to do it, but I want to hear from the designers about how you went about picking paint colors and making all of the magic work. And then I'll share, as you kind of reveal that process, the photos that show how spectacular it looks. So whoever would like to pick up on that process, on the artistic process of making this place just pop, because it wasn't in that great shape when I went in the first time. And now I just went in last week and it's just, wow, it's really great. Who would like to pick up on that?
Oh, sorry. So I know what we started with the paint colors. We had each picked an option for a through color, and then we decided from there, and then we each picked one accent wall to go with that through color.
Right, so let me bring up the pictures here so you can describe that to folks. You can help folks explain what they're seeing here.
Okay, so that grayish green is our through color, which we all decided on. The paint came out a little darker than we would have liked, but we still like it. And then the red wall, that is our accent wall, which I believe Gwen picked that one out. I could be wrong. And then in the picture with the TV screen, the purple wall is the one I think Allie picked out.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I don't know, I've been in both on a cloudy day and on a sunny day, and the colors stand out differently and look differently depending on how much light comes into the property. It's really interesting to see. The contrast on the purple and the gray is different depending on the intensity of the light coming in from the outside. So talk me through these three rooms then. Maybe Gwen or Allie, you could do that and saying what rooms are we seeing in these pictures and what functions do they have?
So the one, we have the kitchen where we want to have snacks and stuff in there so kids can come in, make food. I think we also planning to do meals Fridays and Saturdays. I think, I'm not quite sure, like lunch and dinner. And then the one in the middle is our study room where kids can go and study. There's an art station where the black cubbies are, so it's like a mix. And then the last room is kind of like the big space where kids can go watch TV, play on the Switch we're gonna have soon. That's like the big hangout space.
And that's okay, so explain to folks, this isn't how it's going to look when everything's all set up, right? That's temporary furniture, correct?
Yes.
So what kind of furniture do you have coming into these spots?
For the big space, we're gonna have a couch in there, which is coming in soon. We're gonna have round tables in the study area, round or moving tables, so they can move them together if they have a group project, if they want to talk. We're gonna have office chairs. I don't think they're gonna have wheels. And then the kitchen, I don't know what kind of furniture we're gonna have in the kitchen.
Well, it looks like it's already looking great, and I'm anxious to see it with the final furnishings in. So talk about who can come to this spot. We're calling it a teen center. Is it open to all teens? Do they have to live in the Presque Isle area? If some teen is coming down from Madawaska or Fort Ken or up from Holton or Hodgson, can they visit the teen center? What and what can teens do at the teen center? Who would like to take that one?
I guess so. It's open for teens, I think 14 to 19, so high school students. And I'm guessing like kids from all over Aroostook County can come. Like it doesn't matter how far you are, I guess. And it's just a place for people to hang out and get resources they need. And I don't think there's really like big restrictions on like what teen can come and what teen can't.
That's wonderful. So it's really open. It's an open, welcoming facility.
Yeah.
So now I understand that there are other amenities, like if a student might be working in the neighborhood or whatever, there's the ability to do laundry there. It's a really well supported facility, correct?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, sorry. We have a bathroom with a shower, we have the laundry hookups. We want a space where people can go if they can't get home before they have to go somewhere else, or if they just can't get home in general. We want a place where they can go and just get what they need.
And I also heard, and this is more referencing maybe the study area, that there's oftentimes, and you're, you know high school today better than I do, but there's oftentimes projects where students are asked to work together in a small group, and it might not always be possible for them to go to someone's house, and it's not conducive to go sit at a coffee shop or whatever and get that kind of work done. So is this a good place to be able to go, like to get a school project done with some classmates or the like?
That's what we're hoping for.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, all right. The next thing I want to talk about is who's going to be staffing this, because this is not adults that are going to sort of be there. There will be adult supervision, not necessarily right in the immediate part of the local ground floor of this facility where the youth are hanging every day. But talk about the process for staffing and who's going to be staffing this.
We have interviewed and hired junior staff members, which are 16 to 18, I believe. And then we have senior staff, which are 19 to 24. And they're going to be working at the same time. So we'll have junior staff working with senior staff together.
Off the top of your head, what are the hours of the center?
As of right now, it's after school hours. So like Monday through Thursday, it's usually 3 to 8:30. And then Friday and Saturday is usually 3 to 9:30.
Awesome. So big event coming up. We don't want adults hanging out in this facility. This is a facility for youth by youth, but you are inviting them in for one day. Let's bring that up on the screen, and maybe one of you can share what's happening on the 23rd of May.
So on the 23rd, we are welcoming parents and adults in general who want to come in and see what it's going to look like, how it's running, who's running it. I don't know who's working that day, but once we get in there, get the people in there, it's basically just a chance to see what their kids will be doing and whether or not it's safe, which it will be, obviously.
Now, like any housewarming event, guests are encouraged to connect with gifts, and they don't have to actually bring them with them. There's a way that they can connect and find out what you all need for the teen center. Talk about that.
So we have put together an Amazon wish list. I don't know how updated it is. I haven't been looking at that, but I believe you can find it right on the poster for it, right at the bottom, and also on ACAP's Facebook.
So what kind of things do you recall are on that list, so folks have some idea of what are some of the things that you need for the teen center, the North Street Teen Center?
I think right now I haven't looked at it. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I think it's like a juicer and a blender and a couple other kitchen things, along with just like studying supplies and just school supplies in general.
That's awesome. So there was a lot of interest, I understand, in some of the positions, the youth positions that are going to be staffing the center. Talk about what your thoughts were on that day. We had a hiring event, I understand. Allie, were you there?
Yes, I was.
How did it go?
It went really well. I was really glad to see so many people wanted to be interviewed for this position, because I figured we'd get like a handful, like maybe 3 people at the max, but we had quite a few people here that day.
That's awesome. What have we missed? What about this teen center have we not talked about that you want to make sure people out there know about, specifically your peers? Gwen, anything you can think of that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure folks know?
No, I don't think so.
Right, let me circle back up to you then, Jamie.
I think mostly it's inclusive. Nobody's really above anybody. Even the junior and senior staff are at an even playing field. It's just obviously one can do more because they're an adult and the other one isn't. So we need one on staff at all times. But like it's not going to be run like a school. Basically, we're not power driving and we're not using our power against the people who are going.
Awesome. And again, open to everyone. Yeah, awesome. Allie, what about you? Anything we haven't talked about that you want to make sure people know about this wonderful new facility?
The only thing I can think of is just that it's open. So
It is.
like if anyone that's watching this has teens that need somewhere to go, we're now open and they can stop in and hang out.
Do the hours change because school, in mid-June, school is going to come to an end, or probably third week now with all the snow days we had, but do the hours shift in the summer and on school break times?
I believe they will be. I'm pretty sure we're going to be going from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. just like we are on the week on Saturday. But as of now, I don't really know.
We have time to get word out about that. No problem at all. We'll stay in touch with that. All right. You know, I'm so glad to see sometimes people just talk about things and things don't really get done. And I'm so glad to see the three of you like continuing to make this vision of yours that really is based upon what your own peers said was needed in our community come to reality. So first and foremost, thank you to the three of you for all of the follow through you've done and all of the work you've done, even when it seemed, my gosh, like it was dark and difficult because of all the challenges with actually landing the facility. But your persistence is so much appreciated. And thank you for being leaders, all three of you, for your peer youth, peer teens across Aroostook County who are going to benefit from your hard work that started almost a year ago now when you first came to the agency and started with the G2O program last summer. And look at you now, have gone beyond just the study and beyond hearing what people need and made it happen. It's great to see it, and I appreciate all three of you. So let's just recap here for folks out there. I'm going to share with you again your invitation to check out the North Street Teen Center is at a housewarming event being planned for the 23rd of May between 3 and 6 p.m. That's at 24 North Street in Presque Isle, the location of the North Street Teen Center. And if you're looking to have a gift for this event, you can go on to the www.amazon.com/registries and look for North Street Teen Center. And what they need is on that list, and you'll see what remains on it, and go ahead and make that donation directly so our teens have a well-equipped teen center at North Street for any teen across Aroostook County. Again, thank you to my guests for joining me. Before we leave them and before we leave all of you, the last thing we have to share with you, as we do at each point at this point in our broadcast, is our snapshot of the week. This week's snapshot of the week comes from our Gouldville Early Care and Education Center, where classrooms of students were treated to a visit by the Presque Isle Police Department, who stopped by their Head Start classroom and I got to share with them all about public safety, and even left behind some wonderful hats for the kids to remember the visit by and to be thinking about potentially their future career. So we thank the Presque Isle Police Department for their efforts to make our kids smile and feel safe in their community at the Gouldville Early Care and Education Center. Again, thanks to our PIPD, thanks to the students who joined me on this week's broadcast, our leaders who have helped to make the North Street Teen Center a reality. We'll be back next week with a special edition of ACAP Today. We're going to visit with the head of the National Community Action Partnership, the head of the Maine Community Action Partnership, and ACAP's Chief Operating Officer, Jamie Chandler. It's become an annual tradition during Community Action Month, and smack dab in the middle of Community Action Month, we're going to sit down with those three leaders to talk about why community action is so important across this country and right here in Maine and Aroostook County. That's next week's edition of ACAP Today. We'll be back then with that. Until then, have a great week, everyone. Thank you.